Good day, viewers, and welcome to the Sport Rep Show. My name is Jesse Jackson Kauraitha. Now, I'll be updating you on the latest sports news in and beyond Namibian borders. And now, let us have a look at the latest on the hit list. Now, Bucks Buccaneers have decided to extend Ronnie Cananelo's stay at the club after he joined mid-season last season around. Cananelo, who found the team struggling in 13th place, make sure that they ended 10th and avoided relegation. The former African Stars coach, who won the league and the NFA Cup with them, is said to have brought stability in the club as well as the technicality of this football club. The club management believe that Cananelo is the right man and obviously coincides with the club plans to go forward. And now on to the youth games, which just recently ended. Jackie Gertze, who was the manager of the local organizing committee, has assured the media that she will be able to provide a proper report in terms of how money was spent and especially also how the volunteers were paid during this time. She mentioned that they owe some service providers and will start settling out those amounts before they can compile this report, which is expected to come out soon. Remember that the government spent almost 27 million to make sure that these games took place in the capital city, where 10 nations came and competed in around 12 sport codes. Let us now go for a short break, and after that we return with a zoom in. Today in Zoom In, we look at a guy who has really done it all in the chess world. That is Hiskiel Nahashi Nkwongwa, who really did well in terms of the competition he took part in. The man already winning 3 titles in that department. Of course, one of those guys that has given the chess fraternity the limelight, of course. Let us hear from him. Now we're here with a chess champion, having 3 titles in a row here in the country. It's Haskell Dahangwapo. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. All right, it's always a pleasure. We have a different people coming through to the Sport Rep Show in terms of the different sport codes they do. Chess is, however, something that stands out as well because it's an interesting sport. Well, I just would like to hear from yourself. How do you feel being a national title winner for 3 consecutive times? I mean, that's history in the making.
I feel like I should get 3 watches for life or something. But honestly, it's an incredible feeling. I'm very, very honored to have achieved this, especially because it's also the first time, and it's a testament of the consistent work, the sacrifice, and the support of the community. So it's something that I can be very proud of for the rest of my career.
Oh, for the rest of your career, yes. All right. I'm going into this tournament that you recently won. Were you under any pressure, or did you feel any pressure in terms of that you knew that if you win this, you were going to write history?
No, pressure was there. It was definitely there along the way. But like, pressure is great. it obliges you to prepare at high standards. So you study, you memorize better, and train well. But in the game, it can disrupt the flow. So you have to manage it. You know, I created a mantra that I'm not here to defend. I'm here to play the best game I've ever played. I'm here to create. In that way, I'm not limited to my tastes. I'm grounded in my style, but I'm not limited to my fears and discomfort.
Wonderful stuff there. You brought the title with I see. It's quite incredible to see it as well. Well, you managed to do well in this competition and stuff like that. What does the future look like for you?
At the moment, I'm going to play in the World Cup. So that's where my focus is on at the moment. So there are other tournaments there to help me prepare for that. There's the Namibian Open in August. And then we'll see from there.
And then you see from there. Well, now I would like to take you back into the whole thing in terms of where it all started. What motivated you to become a chess player?
To be honest, I just wanted to beat the best in the Shakati. And things
Things just went on.
went on, and I didn't know how I'm actually here. So just playing one tournament after another, just learning, and I think just curiosity. I was just curious, find out more about what this game holds. But I didn't know how.
That you would come this far. Were there any other sports you played in let's say your school days, or what did you just start with chess?
No, just play football.
Wow.
Lately. Yeah, I was a player. Very big time. But yeah, to be another football. I was just play ball when I got a
Oh wow.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. Um, Interestingly, just knowing, because it's not always that we have guys like you here. Um, um, I just want to know, what does it take to win a chess competition? Obviously, is there a lot of preparation involved? How does this preparation go? With who do you train before you compete?
Yeah, no, you have to first get the preparation right. You have to simulate the tournament situations. So you can just, like, for example, prepare in the normal way that you do train, but you have to simulate. Okay, if I'm going to sit there for an hour or something, think about certain puzzles. Yeah, yeah. And also, but most importantly, like openings. Openings very important in this day of fast computers. Yeah, very important.
Okay. Before I leave you, obviously this chess game has taken you places. Name one or two that you remember in one of those moments you'd say, yes, I'd really did love to be there.
Egypt.
Oh wow. That was now an African competition.
Yeah. It was the Africa Individuals, 2023. It was very, very great experience. I made a lot of friends, met a lot of people there, and yeah, it was awesome.
Awesome. Well, we just wish you all the best of luck to the future. We hope that you can continue shining in your career. All right. That was Hiskiel Dahangwapo giving us the insight of how he managed to come so far in terms of winning 3 titles in a row and making sure that he remains one of those consistent chess players in the country. Now there is something big brewing. Of course, Saturday there will be a big of NMH employees, as well as some of the fans, lucky fans, traveled to Uganda, where they will be watching this game live and have this for us.
Hey, hi Namibia, hi Sports Rap fans, all the way here from Kampala. Thank you for Andrew for joining us for the Sports Rap segment. Very excited to be here to follow the Namibian team with the Africa Cup journey. Andrew, Kampala, just such a wonderful city. We got here this morning. Obviously, from a sporting enthusiast, they've got so much to offer. The city of Kampala. How are you experiencing it since the early mornings when we've arrived here?
Yeah, no, thanks a lot also for all of your organizing behind the scenes. Yeah, and as you mentioned, also the Namibia Cricket A team is also on tour here. We'll see if we can get around to touch up with them perhaps. And then, of course, yeah, Namibia playing in the big Africa Cup final and World Cup qualifier on Saturday. That's the reason that we're here for.
Yeah. But I mean, before we get to the rugby, just from a sporting enthusiast point of view, people travel to Kampala. You know, they've got hiking in these wonderful mountains, these tropical forests that they've got here. You have to be quite fit to do that. Anything from white water rafting, which is adrenaline's junkies food. I mean, even a thing in experiencing the gorillas. Obviously, a little bit up more north. We won't be that fortunate to see gorillas, obviously, on this trip. But I mean, it's a fantastic experience and definitely a sports enthusiast's dream vacation to experience Uganda and Kampala in this setting as well. But back to the rugby. Obviously, there's a rich history between Zimbabwe and Namibia that's taking each other head on this Saturday, 3 o'clock Namibia time. We are obviously also very excited that back home we're going to have the fan park at Hagi Geingob Stadium. So obviously there's the NRU Premier League matches that's happening there, a totally new format from what I understand, Andrew.
Yeah, I think the club championships, so all the clubs, so it's just 10-minute and a half, so it's very short matches, all the teams. Not sure if it's like a knockout kind of a format, but all the teams in action, and there's lots of little things that they work into the program to make it exciting.
Yes, obviously tickets are now available at etickets.my.na, so please go to Hagi Geingob, support the local clubs locally, and then of course while you're there, we do have the fan park as well, newly renovated. It's going to be a lot of gears, nice big screens. Obviously, Windhoek Beer being a proud partner to the Namibia rugby team and supporting local rugby and us here in Kampala. So that is obviously very excited. I think there's a rumor that's going around that the first 100 people that make their way to the fan park gets a free 500 milliliter can of Windhoek Beer on the house. And that obviously, to watch Namibia play Zimbabwe, the big anticipated final of the Africa Cup, obviously a lot at stake. But let's just touch a little bit before we get to what's on stake in terms of what, you know, the rich history between Zimbabwe and Namibia the last 35 years.
Yeah, going back even longer, I think in the before independence, Southwest Africa and Rhodesia also played a lot against each other. I think Rhodesia had the upper hand most of the time there. But and then when Namibia became independent, Zimbabwe was the first team, the international team that came and played in Windhoek. So then Namibia won that match, and it took Zimbabwe a long time to actually win their first match against Namibia. I think, yeah, so up to now, more than 30 times that Namibia has beaten them. Sometimes it was really close margins. I think there were 11 times or something that the margin was just one score difference, so that Namibia just got ahead. But at other times, think Namibia put up 80 points.
Yeah.
The most that we beat them once. But this weekend's match seems to be more evenly matched. So whoever makes a mistake will regret it.
Yeah. Last year was a different story because they beat us by quite some margins in the semi-finals. Obviously, they went on to win the Africa Cup last year, so they are the reigning champions.
Yeah, 32-10. That's the biggest margin that
Yes.
the Zimbabweans has won
Yeah.
a test match against Namibia.
Yeah. Do you think Namibia is kind of like the underdogs in the Saturday's fixture?
I'm sure they'll maybe build themselves up that way. But it's going to be a great match. So I think the two very evenly matched sides. Namibia, it's going to be very, very physical, and we know that Zimbabwe likes to use their speed in the backline. Namibia also have very capable backline players, so it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, what's on stake is obviously if you don't win this Saturday, then obviously there's a longer journey to qualify for the Rugby World Cup 2027 in Australia. Obviously, we have to, I understand, stay a week longer in Kampala to play different tier countries or a different league that is basically also lost their final. That's also traveling to Kampala. So, but that's the last route that you want to follow because that is Kampala a week after Saturday, and then obviously back to the UAE to go and play there in some knockout stages as well. So that's one thing that we want to avoid completely.
Yeah, no, definitely. The next best teams from the different continents, from Europe. I think Belgium is the team that qualified there, and then from the Americas, it's also usually some difficult teams. So that UAE will be in Windhoek, in Kampala, that other Saturday after this final, get to play against whoever loses on Saturday.
Yes. Well, that's all from us here in Kampala. We're obviously very excited. It's 2 days before the main fixture. There's still a lot that we're going to cover, so do follow us on Sports Wrap social media pages, on MTV, and more importantly, the beer behind the Boykies, chasing that W for this year's Africa Cup. Obviously, thanks to Windhoek Beer as well in bringing along supporters to Kampala, Uganda, to support the Boykies. So there's a couple of surprises that we've got up our sleeves for these fans to make it worth their while. Experience Kampala, experience Uganda, and obviously more importantly, the rugby that we all are waiting for. We're going to be there on Saturday. We're going to watch all 4 matches. We're going to bring you behind the scene footage. Andrew is fortunate enough to be part of the media team, and then obviously get you that behind the scene footage, build up that hype. So if you've not sent in your messages, go to the Synergy chatbot, type in hashtag NRU and send your messages to the Boykies here in Kampala. They need every little bit of help that they can just to bring them that much closer. We're here to support them, and we can't wait. Back to you guys in the studio. Thank you.
Well, it appears as if the team are enjoying themselves there in that side of the African country. Of course, now we hear from a man that has traveled a lot with boxers, Nestor Sunshine Tobias. This time he speaks about Loki's possible future and his past fights. And after that, it will be Ariohar to give us the latest international news. From me, Jesse Jackson Kauraitha, it is goodbye.
Sunshine, you recently returned from the United States of America after an important fight that Jeremiah Loki Nakafila, one of your boxers. I know it's now past tense. The boxer went for well, lost, but I just want to hear from you. How was the trip and what have you observed and obviously gained from traveling to the United States of America?
Yeah, of course, this was Loki Nakafila, 5th fight in the USA. And a lot of boxers can only dream there to fight there, you know. So because that is the house of entertainment, it's the house of boxing, and of course, Loki Nakafila, he qualified to go there, and of course he put Namibia on the world map. because that fight, you can see that fight was on ESPN, was the only fight that night in the world. And of course, all the eyes was fake in Virginia, Norfolk, when Nakathira fought one of the top prospect in the world, of the future of boxing in the world, and Abdullah Mensen, who's now #1 in the world and is about to become a world champion. Yeah, so when you go there, you don't just go there because you're going to America. You go in there to do your work. Me as a promoter, manager, trainer, I make sure my boxer gets the fight on the highest level, on the highest platform. That is the highest platform you can get in sport or boxing or other sport. And of course, we have to thank Nakathira, because Nakathira has been there for a long time. And of course, he's still performing at the highest level. Of course, he did not get the result he wanted to. Of course, he went there to win, but unfortunately, it did not go his way, So, and of course, like I say, he lost in the fifth round, TKO, because of the cut. So he was, okay, you see, the cut, the blood is part of the sport, you see. So, but you can always analyze and see what happened. But he still has a lot of intent, and he could still go further. But unfortunately, it went up like that. Congratulations to Abdullah, who won the fight. And of course, the future looked good for him. And of course, Nakathira, now the young one, they have to take over now from Loki. We've got the young one, like I say, Mateus Haita, who's going to fight for the world title. We've got Energy, who's preparing for another international fight. We've got John De La Muniz, and we've got a lot of kids from other stables, also from other promotion. Namibia boxing it look good. And of course, we have just to push and work together and see how can we produce a world champion. But
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with cycling news first. It is the Tour de France that continues. It was stage 11. It was in Toulouse. It was a circle route and won by Jonas Abrahamsen, and he broke away with Mauro Schmid, and he won that sprint with Mauro Schmid in the end to claim stage 11. It was a defending champion Tadej Pogačar that fell with 5 kilometers to go, but he got up quickly. He didn't lose any time to the group or to the leaders. The peloton let him back in again. So now it is still Ben Healy of Ireland that leads with a combined time of 41 hours, 1 minute and 13 seconds after 11 stages. And it is Tadej Pogačar of Slovenia, 29 seconds behind him in second place. Number 3 and 4 at the moment, two of the cyclists that can still challenge for a win. It's Remco Evenepoel and Jonas Vingegaard, both of them 1 minute and 29 seconds behind the leader. And all to race for now, it's stage 12, will be very tough, 180 kilometers, and it will be in the mountains in the Pyrenees, so anything can happen. So that is Tour de France that continues in France. On to cricket news. It is a T20 international triangular being played in Harare, South Africa, Zimbabwe and New Zealand. It was New Zealand that beat South Africa by 21 runs. It was New Zealand batting first, 173 for 5 in their lot of 20 overs. And then South Africa, the Proteas, bowled out for 152. That was after 18.2 overs. So it's New Zealand winning that game. And it was just Devil Brevis for South Africa that scored runs, 35 runs off 18 deliveries. The next game is Friday. That is New Zealand that will play against the host Zimbabwe. Then to close off today's international sports news, it is rugby news. A much anticipated first test between the British and Irish Lions and Australia. That will be on Saturday. That will be in Brisbane in the Suncorp Stadium. And the team news is that both teams are selected, and it is for the first time since 1896 in all of the history of the Lions rugby. The first time there's no Welsh player in the starting test team, and it was Jack Morgan of Wales. That's the only player of Wales at the tour at the moment. He was close to selection, selection, but didn't make the starting or the team, the 23, that will play against Australia. The team news from the Australian team is that they have a new fly-half. There were injury problems at fly-half, so Tom Lynagh will be the fly-half. He'll make his run on debut. He's had a few games off the bench, and it is significant. His father, Michael Lynagh, also played against the Lions, and that was all back in 1989 that Michael Lynagh played for Australia against the Lions. So that is a good performance, great performance by Tom Lynagh, making his run on debut against the Lions on Saturday. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day. We talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.